Mr. Benning, you are not the father.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Shak-Reacts here once again, and today's just some crazy clips of the worst single mothers I can find. And like always, guys, my favorite clip will be at the end, but in this first one, it is absolutely insane. This man found out that his wife was cheating on him, as well as his daughter not being his.
When Savannah was 6 months old, that there was a 50-50 chance that Savannah wasn't mine. Text messages proof right here of the most recent is Valentine's Day. She went to another man's house while I'm sitting at the house with the kids.
Well, that's because you didn't even get me anything, and you were just yelling at me.
Did you tell your husband about this guy too?
He saw the text messages.
There's one more text. The cord, this is not your body part.
No.
This is what you found in her phone.
Yes, this is the gentleman that she went to his house on Valentine's Day. And she has stood in front of the car to where I couldn't leave her. She says, I'm gonna call the cops and tell them you hit me.
Yeah, guys, basically, if you are married and your wife cheats on you at any time and you have kids, please go get a DNA test done, because that's probably not the first time she ever cheated. That's probably the first time she just got caught. And instead of just getting divorced and start paying child support immediately, you should be getting a DNA test done first.
No, my wife just left her corporate job for a cashier job because she wants to get out of the payments that she's doing.
Payments of what?
Child support, ma'am.
Is there a reason why you're not paying to support this child?
I left my job, and I did do it intentionally.
Wait a minute. You intentionally left your job?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
How much did you make at your last job?
Annually, $70,000. Now I work at a convenience store.
How much are you making now?
$30,000 a year.
What's the qualification to work at that job?
You just need a high school diploma.
High school diploma.
Yes,
And you have a master's degree. I'm not about to play with you. So, you're now making $30,000 a year, and you think that I should base child support on $30,000 instead of the 70 that you intentionally stop working at?
Well, that is my annual income now.
Ma'am, I'm going to make you pay child support. $899.60 is going to be your monthly child support obligation that you're going to pay each month to this man.
Wow, that's a decent chunk for what she's making after tax.
Now, this is what true justice looks like. This woman really thought if she quit her job or actually got a lesser paying job, she would just pay less for child support. It's pretty insane the levels that this woman would go through just so she doesn't have to pay at all. There are definitely some men as well who did the exact same. Let me know if you guys agree with that.
I wouldn't imagine anything, because you're not even on a caliber to date a single mother. You
ever hear a guy saying like, oh, you have a child, or oh, I don't want nothing to do with that. They probably don't have the means to take care of your child because they're broke bums, and we don't want those men anyway. The real true high value men are going to be seeking or not avoiding someone because they're a mother.
You need to have a man pay for the babysitter if he wants to take you out.
Ladies, set the standard high. Set the standard high, especially since you're a mom, because it's not just about you anymore. It's about you and your kids.
I find it really stupid when I see men trying to make it a point that single mother standards are way too high. But wouldn't you think that a good mother or a good woman, period, would want the best for her children and want the best around her children? So you best believe that my standards are going to be through the roof. At this point, my standards are so high, I think I'm looking for Jesus Christ himself.
Yeah, these takes are absolutely insane, especially the last one. If you really did care about your kids and your children, you would have thought about having kids with a better man. Not these drug dealers, not these scammers, not these bad guys that all you guys find attractive. Suddenly, after you have kids, you suddenly care about the kind of man you want? What happened to that thought process beforehand? Now you just want another man to pick up the slack for the baggage that your previous relationship had. It's not that man's job. This is what I'm saying. These single mothers really be advertising themselves in horrible ways. Like, what kind of man wants to deal with the woman who's harder to date? At that point, we just go for someone who doesn't have kids.
So a mother can abort her baby if she doesn't want the responsibility, but a father will go to prison if he doesn't want the responsibility. Interesting.
Or we can go half on the bills. I don't understand that concept of going half. That makes no sense to me. There used to be a time a man took pride in taking care of his wife, and her money is her money.
Get that French toast out of here.
I would really like to see men get back in their place of being providers and having pride in that.
If a woman could find a man to get a man to do all that for him, then all right. I don't really care what women want. I care what my woman gonna do when she with me. I don't care if I'm a billionaire. I'm not about to pay for my respect. I'm not gonna pay for your submission.
I would also really like to see women get back in their place of being respectful women. But nobody wants to talk about that, right? We all just want to point fingers at men, saying that they're not doing enough, they're not providing enough, they're not traditional enough. This all ended up happening the moment women stopped being traditional.
How are you falling in love and falling for at all, period, falling for at all, broke guys? What is appealing about a man that is in debt and unable to provide for you? I need to know this. I need to know the science behind it. I need you to make it make sense for me, because I'm genuinely so concerned. So concerned for you. I'm concerned for your overall well-being. I am just very concerned. And I need you to know that there's nothing okay about that. There's nothing okay about that, okay?
It's almost like personality doesn't exist to this woman. Do you really think it's all about the money? Is there a correlation for how much a man makes and the divorce rate? Now, I'm not saying that these women should be going for guys who are completely broke, who sell drugs or scam for their money. I'm not saying that. Obviously, these women should be picking men who work reasonable and good job. But if you're one of these women who think your man has to make $100K a year in order for you to be content and satisfied with your life, then I have to say you're kind of delusional.
Would a man take you for a first date?
You're the man. I want you to ask me on a date. Where are we gonna take
I don't
you?
take women on dates.
Why not?
I take y'all to my car.
Oh, that's fun too. Let's go.
You done?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, bet.
See y'all later.
Shit.
Somebody please go get their mother. What is this woman doing in the street at her age messing around with kids like this?
I've even been in, I've seen situations where men have gotten so, I don't think that women know the emotional damage that they do to a man when it comes to taking their child away from them. To the point that a man will be okay with walking away to protect his peace, his livelihood, and his mental health, and say, fuck it, I just won't see my child because of the baby mothers and the shit that they go through. Because like I said, a lot of these women get so upset with these men when shit don't go in their favor, go their way, and when they're still emotionally invested in the man. But sweetie, I could have sworn you gave him back to the streets. You did not like him. So now, if you don't like him, you don't give a fuck about him, allow him to live his life, allow him to continue to co-parent, allow him to show for the child, because now again you put the child in for defense, because you know your word's not gonna sting. When you curse him out, it just rolls off his shoulder.
Depending on what you say.
So, but as soon as you start saying something about keeping that child away, a man to go to war for that. A good man, a good father, he ain't playing that shit. He is going to go to bat. He like, listen, bitch, what you're saying to me, none of that shit matters to me. But the moment that you start throwing them kids in for defense, baby, it looks very different.
Yeah, I don't care how the media describes these kind of men, saying that they're deadbeats, they don't want to provide for their kids, or they don't want to be there. These men are not leaving their children, they're leaving bad relationships. And sometimes when these relationships end, these women get so resentful and hurt that they start using their own kids as weapons against the man. And that's exactly where the man decides to leave completely, because what kind of disgusting act is using your own kids as a weapon against their father? This should be illegal.
Kids don't need their father in their life. If the quality of your happiness as a single mother is tested on a constant basis, if the way that he treats you is detrimental to your mental and emotional health, do you have to make that decision? I used to get so angry, and I used to go into these deep, dark spaces every time I had to deal with him. By the time my kids came home to be with me, I'm depleted emotionally.
This is exactly what I was talking about. This woman is making the decision for her kids to not see their father. Don't act like this man was a deadbeat. Sometimes these mothers make the conscious decision to not have their kids around their father.
Historically, we have been programmed to conform to being a victim. And we like to be the one that got done wrong. This is why we struggle with accountability. Being with the bad boy allows you to end up being a victim at some point or another. Why do they want to be victims? It is programmed in us that poor me is some type of flex. I knew I was going to be a single mother. I knew that is something that they get to flex off of. They believe it is a flex. That's why when I say it produces the worst product, the comeback is, well, he did it to me. The bad boys will allow, you're able to say, Tyrone, he in the streets. Yeah, he took me out. It was exciting. There's the excitement side, but then there's always, if this doesn't work out with Tyrone, I have a story where Tyrone was the one that did me wrong.
Now, I definitely understand what she's saying, and regardless if this is true or not, I still don't think it's a good thing. Yes, she's given explanation, but are we still gonna continue the cycle, or what's gonna happen here? We should be educating our women to not, I guess, feel like victims and not become single mothers just so they can have a good sob story. Come on now.
Ever want a reason to not have kids? Walk by a park in New York City. That's peaceful, huh?
Yeah, this is a single woman who was never married or never had any kids. She is trying to cope in this kind of way by saying she's better off with no kids. Enjoy that lonely house of yours with your cats.
Fine. I cannot sit here and argue
every
day with you the truth.
Answer me a question.
I gave you my truth.
Answer
if
me
you
a
don't
question.
want to believe me, take your answers and your question and get the out of here. I don't want to deal
Answer
with
my
this.
question.
Nope.
Answer my question,
Nope.
because you cheated, so answer my question.
Nope.
Yeah, look. 2 families, 7 children is got. 7 children. Her son hates her. Her daughters, man, I don't even know their relationship. Vanessa is cool. I don't know, but Isabella, that seems cool too. But she got 4 daughters here that she's about to leave. That is amazing. That's okay. I'll take the Juan route. That's fine. Juan was in this same shoes. I will be in his shoes. 7 children. Hopefully Z take care of her, because that's what she needs.
7 kids, and she's still messing around at her age with your responsibilities? Don't you have better things to do, like, I don't know, taking care of your 7 kids? What are you doing at that age? And like this man said, he is now the second guy in her life to be dealing with this. Sometimes there's a reason why this woman became a single mother.
Type, what do you like?
Black women.
Black women? Okay. Now, would you date a girl with a fan site?
Probably not.
No? Why?
I just don't feel like I need to.
You need to? Okay.
I'm not even sure why she's looking for an explanation. We want a wife we could bring home to our family. That is all.
Should he have any say about what you wear when you leave the house?
I mean, unless it's something absolutely ridiculous, then no.
You don't.
No, because I think that like what I wear is who I am, and that he should like me for who I am.
You don't feel like what you're wearing right now is absolutely ridiculous?
No.
How do you feel? I told her not to wear it.
Now, I'm not gonna say the typical thing about how this woman should be listening to her man when it comes down to how she dresses. All I'm saying is if you're walking into a relationship with the girl dressing like this already, don't have the expectations of her changing it the moment you guys start dating. If you're not content with that person in the beginning of the relationship, just don't expect them to change along the way.
Is it that men just don't want to commit anymore? I was reading an article on that the other day. Said it's like the new norm. Like it's okay for men not to want to commit anymore like they used to, or is it that they have too many options now with all these dating sites and, you know, women willing to be in open relationships? But what I know for me is that I really don't know if I'll ever meet someone of substance that truly wants what I want, and it's sad.
That truly wants what I want. If you think you're gonna go into a relationship expecting only things that you want, then the relationship is just not gonna work out. You guys both have to come to an agreement together regarding what kind of life you guys both want together.
News. An American man found he wasn't the father of his 3 sons, and how he took violent revenge on his wife will shock you. Richard was a 55-year-old businessman. He was married to a woman named Kate, and Kate was his employee. The couple had 3 sons, and Richard and Kate thought they would live out their lives together. But after a few years, the couple began to fall apart, and they finally divorced. Kate received $5 million, and Richard continued to pay child support for his 3 sons. But soon after, Richard went to his doctor for a checkup. And when he got the results of his tests, it turned out that he had cystic fibrosis. Richard asked the doctor directly if it was possible that he had passed the disease on to his 3 sons. But the doctor told him he had nothing to worry about, as he had been sterile since birth, so he hadn't been able to have a child. Richard told the doctor he was wrong because he already had 3 boys. And that's when he realized that the boys didn't look at all like him, and that Kate must have been lying to him. Then what Richard did to his cheating ex-wife in revenge is so savage it'll shock you. Richard decided to tell his eldest son, who immediately asked his mother about it. And that's when Kate confessed to Richard and his son that while they were together, Kate had had an affair. Richard then sued Kate for $400,000, and now he continued to see his children as if nothing had happened.
This is exactly why a DNA test should be mandatory for every single kid after birth. There are actually some countries like France that ban DNA testing just because of how much infidelity goes on in that country. A lot of these men who suddenly turn violent end up even killing these women for lying about the kids being theirs. Obviously, there is absolutely no reason for a man to crash out in such a way, but a man should definitely not be paying or providing for kids that's not even his. And in this kind of case, I don't think 400K is honestly enough money. I think it should have been more. He probably spent way more money on those kids. But what about the emotional damage he's now dealing with the rest of his life? Like, can he really start having kids again at whatever age he's at? I'm unsure. But anyways, guys, that does wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys do want more content just like this, please watch the videos you guys see at the top screen. It does help my channel a lot. See you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace.